Public Affairs Program. And the star goes to Open for Business Net 25.
It is a signal to the world that we are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is Cesar Vallejos bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook, sa YouTube. Siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25 TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Stage fright, big crowd. These are just some of the factors that make a person retreat from being on stage to speak publicly. But do you know that public speaking can boost your credibility as a personal brand? We learn from the master public speaker himself, Mr. Mitch Carson, CEO of Impact Products Marketing, on how you can grow your business through public speaking, branding, and more.
Aramina may dance challenge na magpapaganda sa araw mo. Magandang Araw Dance Challenge. Kitang-kita nga naman bakit gaganda ang araw mo. Kaya sali na sa Magandang Araw Dance Challenge sa TikTok. Magandang araw mula sa Net25.
Lagi mong kasama. Magandang araw, magandang araw.
Kayo ba'y nalolongkot o nalulungkot at walang makausap? Pues, i-click lang ang subscribe button at i-follow ang ating social media pages at Net25 TV para sa iba pang mga pranks at practical jokes dito sa Oh No, It's BO, Bureau Only.
As entrepreneurs, you may be busy with plans on how to grow your business or achieving your sales. While you may have the price, product, place, and promotions all planned, the manner on how you carry out your business or yourself is on the sidelines. The way you present yourself is a major factor on how your clients and business partners trust you. Even the level of confidence shown when presenting your ideas or products can either make or break deals. This is why learning how to speak in public can do wonders to your business growth. We have a master public speaker on this episode who will give us insights on this important aspect. He's done the rounds in the international stage, speaking in engagements or being a mentor to over 600 authors, CEOs, consultants, and others, some of whom have progressed to become celebrities in their own right. Please welcome Mr. Mitch Carson, the CEO of Impact Products Marketing. Welcome to Open for Business.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Off-cam, I was asking you, how long have you been here in the Philippines? And what's your impression of the Philippines?
I haven't been here since the pandemic ceased. But it reminded me because everybody wears masks here. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is a real reminder of what happened several years ago. I spent a year living here in Makati, so I have a great familiarity with your culture. And I know just a few words of Tagalog.
Like
so,
what?
Like po. and
Okay.
chicken adobo. I mean, yeah, now I'm getting hungry. It's before lunch. So I have a great experience with the Filipino people.
I was also listening to you earlier about artificial intelligence. You guested
Yes.
in Kada Umaga. So far, what are these developments that you see in business, and why did you choose public speaking or being an author publishing a book? So far, as we have seen, there's a lot of changes that pandemic has brought us. The pandemic also, in some instances, they made some people, but they broke also the spirit of some. And in your view, what was the impact of the pandemic to business, especially in the field?
I believe the pandemic changed the world forever. I mean, there's no turning back what exactly happened. We know that. I think in terms of AI, it has helped us tremendously for how to recover from this. And given that people work hybrid, sometimes in the office, sometimes out, and there are virtual workers today, especially in the Philippines, it's going to increase the number of opportunities because of the pandemic, paving the way for at-home work. And now the AI, you combine that with the comfort of working at home, I believe AI will continue that process.
This one is important. I have to ask this question. Open for Business is a program that is geared towards providing information and enlightening micro, small, and medium enterprises. We would like to encourage entrepreneurship to flourish in the country. That being said, you mentioned that in reality, most businesses fail. For the benefit of our MSMEs and would-be entrepreneurs, why did you say so? What could have gone wrong?
Well, I'm going based on these statistics, and I believe, I follow what is the SBA, Small Business Association, which is the largest association compiling all these statistics. I believe the same may be true here in the Philippines. I'm careful in choosing my words.
Okay.
May be true. I doubt there's too much of a deviation. The practice of running a business is the same worldwide. You've got to have a connection with your clients. And I'm using the word clients, not customers. Customers come and go. Clients you have a relationship with. That mindset shift alone will make a big difference. And connecting to your clients as they come in, touching them regularly will make a profound difference on sustaining your business. Because when you treat them as customers, I don't think you have a relationship. So that starts with the mindset shift.
Wow, that is interesting. And in your line of work, which is very interesting, you have public speaking, branding, direct marketing, advice and consulting, and others. These are very important to business. And sometimes with other MSMEs, these are on the sidelines. These are not really the focus, but there is so much impact to the bottom line. So can you expound on how an entrepreneur can also master authority through public speaking?
Well, I owned an advertising agency in America for many years. That's how I became successful, was helping other entrepreneurs become more successful, growing their businesses. The fastest way, the key I found and why I embraced public speaking as my platform was many salespeople sell one-to-one. You and I, if I'm trying to pitch you on my product or service, I'm doing this one-to-one. A public speaker, an effective public speaker, can speak one to many. I learned this in my years as a pitchman on a channel called Home Shopping Network in America, where I was speaking 1 to 5 million. That was a live audience there. And I used that skill set to then go to live audiences around the country, then around the world. And I've had the good fortune of speaking in 61 countries to date. And when you are able to impact many at the same time, you do two things. One, you can sell to many. The pitch is the same. Instead of one-to-one, it's one-to-many. And second, when you are on a platform, either on TV, for example, which we're on here today, or on a stage, people perceive you as higher than what you may or may not be. And it's perceived value. If you are an author, your perceived value goes up. If you are on a platform, your perceived value goes up. You're on a TV channel, your perceived value goes up. This is all part of creating that perceived value, which is media.
Now, I'm interested with what you mentioned. It's speaking from one to many.
Yes, sir.
There were a lot of instances, debates, that the effective marketers now has to be personalized. In your view, how could you still put that kind of personalization or customization when you do public speaking?
Well, like I wrote a book here called Building Your Personal Brand, a guide for entrepreneurs. Now you see the umbrella, it's a simple metaphor that is red standing out amongst all the others that are black. It simply can be as small as a color change where you are different. It's about differentiation in the marketplace. Now that can be expressed through media, like social media. It can be on a number of podcasts. It can be used through doing interviews like this, separation. And I have seen this in countless niches of clients that I've worked with worldwide. It's all about uniqueness.
Wow, interesting. With a lot of MSMEs here, they would think of the definition of brand as a brand. It could be a logo, it could be your name, it could be a tagline, but from a master public speaker like you, an author, what is a brand?
A brand is what people remember when you walk away. That's a simplified version just for the audience. It's like, what is the impression of you? If I walked into your show with a t-shirt on, snot running out of my nose, my hair wasn't combed, and I didn't look the part versus this is my brand for television. I'm wearing a tie. I've tied my tie correctly as you have. You've got a beautiful shirt on. You are representing your brand as the president. I'm representing my brand as Mitch Carson, master public speaker and trainer. This is my brand. It is the perception that I've created in the marketplace. That is the brand.
Another interesting about, when we talk about brand is price. A lot of, some people say that when you choose a brand, it could be expensive. But what's your view on that? You don't have to spend so much on a specific brand or branding, but there is a strategy behind it. So how do you now create a good brand? As you mentioned, it's what people remember when you walk away. So
correct.
What do you do to have that perfect branding?
Well, I think it's a matter of a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if your business is a series of links, it's your employees, your customer service, your internet presence, which is important today, your social media presence. From the minute I walked into the studio today, your brand, and I want to let you know this, is well aligned. I walked in, I was greeted with a smile. I'm sure I'll be greeted with a smile and said, thank you, sir, when I leave, because everything has been consistent throughout the process of me coming here today. And that shows that you have worked hard on crafting a well-perceived brand. It's from the moment you walk in to the moment you leave. Philippines Airlines is how I flew here to come. And the moment, it's the ticket counter, it's when I enter the plane, the flight attendants, the food, the comfort of the air, how I'm treated when I leave, baggage claim, all of that is part of the process. It's every step of the way. And there's a statistic what's interesting. You do something well, somebody will tell one person. You do something bad, they'll tell 7. So you've got to be very careful how you craft the client experience. Their experience is what I would say. It's how they feel when they leave you, when they move on to the next stage in their life or in their business experience. It's how they feel. I felt great doing a show earlier in the other room. My experience was great. I have many clients. I come here to try first to know how I feel before I refer my coveted clients. So I would say it's feeling based. It's subjective and objective.
There's appeal to emotions. Wow, that's perfect. Now, we now go back to this branding and public speaking. In my introduction earlier, I talked about, and this is also the same feeling of everyone. There's stage fright, there's nervousness, especially if you're not used to really making a lot of presentations to a lot of people. How do you now prepare yourself to this public speaking, to presentations? Because we know that a lot of people in the Philippines were into politics, were into
Karaoke.
sports, karaoke, and a lot of things, But with the viewers now of Open for Business, this is empowering small businesses also to make use of what they have, especially with their limited resources.
Sure.
And if you are a good public speaker, you don't have to hire influencers, but you can be a public speaker at the same time an influencer of your brand. So how do you prepare for it?
Well, when I conduct my speaking trainings, because I found that this was a gift I had because I was a terrible public speaker at one time, I make sure that people use something called a prop. Because if you use a prop, the fear is transferred to that prop. And all you have to do is go back to your childhood of show and tell. So I used rubber chickens, I've used slinkies, I've used squirt guns, I've used bubbles. All of these different props help people overcome their fear. So they transfer that fear into the mechanism, talk about it, and before they know it, they're speaking to the crowd fearlessly.
Interesting. There is a Tagalog word for that, a prop. It could be hugot.
Okay, hugot. All right.
Hugot.
Sorry for my pronunciation.
Something that you get from your inner self. Where you get that kind of feeling and be strong, be brave, and be able to deliver what you like to deliver. Now, this one is another interesting topic. How can knowing in depth about your brand can help increase one's business value or income? Maybe it's a chapter in your book, but can you talk about
Well,
it?
I think you have to focus on what is your unique positioning statement or unique selling proposition, truly what differentiates you in the marketplace, and focusing on that. And it's the same with sports. Someone has to find what they're best at, focus on it, practice it, perfect it. And if it's public speaking, use that as your vehicle to gather one-to-many clients. You've got to find your strength. As opposed to focusing on the weaknesses, focus on your strength and grow that.
Speaking of USP, since you mentioned it, the unique selling proposition, public speakers also have that?
Yes, they do.
Okay, how do you now craft your USP in terms of public speaking? Or can you have your own personal branding or company branding and marry both brands?
100%. I love that question that you ask, and we didn't discuss that beforehand, but I love being put on the spot.
Okay,
So I help.
sorry.
I help.
Sorry,
That's okay.
I'm
I
so
love
interested
it. No,
with your.
I love it. I love the challenge.
Okay.
That's something called a hot seat, and I'm burning right now.
Okay.
So it's good. It's I help people blank so they can blank. I help people. I help speakers, authors, coaches, and consultants become the #1 person in their niche or category so they can own their niche, spend more time with their families, and earn income faster than they ever thought possible before. That's my elevator pitch, and that's the benefit that people will take away. If they relate to that, then it's their opportunity to work with me. I don't chase anyone. So if I use that for another type, it's a template. So I help people blank, feature, so they can blank, which is benefit. And that is a formula that your audience can take away. If they follow that simple formula, they will be more successful than if they didn't have a formula. Like if I were to walk up to you and ask, what do you do? The first reaction, that's where the elevator pitch comes from. So we're going from ground up to the 5th floor. I've got 15 seconds, or you've got 15 seconds to grab my attention. How you answer that will depend on whether I want to talk to you anymore or see you bye. It's really that important. It's almost like a quick date. It's is the chemistry there or isn't? And do you have something that you can offer me or not? Or do I have something that I can offer you? It's a quick networking tip of this is what I do. So what the purpose of the USP is to actually deselect people from your world versus select. Get rid of the people who aren't prospects. You know, a dentist who says, well, I help people who are in pain so they can live a life pain-free and feel comfortable smiling all the time. That's a lot different than I'm Joe Gomez, dentist. That's kind of boring. It's like, oh, you associate pain with the dentist as opposed to addressing the pain and saying, I let people smile and show their inner strength. Has a different effect and feeling. It's all about injecting emotion into what you're saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It makes sense. But I was also struck by your select people and deselect. Deselect. It's like choosing an account.
Correct.
Like if it's not a profitable account, deselect it.
Deselect.
Correct? Okay.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah, okay. I hope that you come here again so we can talk more about, this...
and I'm going to bring some high-profile
clients. That's right. And where can they see you? Where can they find the book?
MitchCarson.com?
Yes, and where can they buy it?
Well, they can go to Breakthrough to the Moon, which I co-authored with Dr. Candice Goh out of Singapore. She was the former managing director of Accenture Group, worldwide Fortune 100 company, and she's based there. So we co-authored this book. It's a comical depiction of the both of us here. So they can go to breakthroughtothemoon.com to purchase this book. It will be released to the public in September, and we will look forward to an advanced purchase today. Thank you.
Perfect. And if they want to be coached by the Mitch Carson, where will they find you?
Mitch at MitchCarson.com. MITCH is my first name at MitchCarson.com.
Thank you so much. Open for business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Nakahihintay na pagbabalik ng pinakamasaya at pinakamahusay na sports competition ng bansa ay narito na. Mahigit 10,000 batang atletang Pilipino mula sa 17 regions ang maglalaban-laban upang ipakita ang galing ng mga batang malakas para sa bansang matatag. Palarong Pambansa 2023 Marikina. Panoorin ang mga palaro August 1 to 8, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 2 p.m. at 12 noon, Sabado at Linggo, dito sa Net25. Presented by Biogenic Alcohol, Skechers, and Net25. Co-presented by Mr. DIY, Ribisco Extreme Choco Sandwich, and in part by Memo Plus Gold, Alaska Milk, Angkas, BPI, and Cal Cheese.
Alam namin ang iyong pagsisikap. Dama namin ang iyong mga sakripisyo. Kita namin ang pagharap mo sa bawat pagsubok. Kaya sa kabila ng mga hamon ng buhay, nandito kami para umalalay. Kasi katulad mo, gusto rin namin ang magandang bukas para sa kanya. Hatid namin ang dekalidad na edukasyon at makabagong pasilidad sa abot kayang halaga. Kaya huwag ka na mangamba. Sasamahan ka namin tuparin ang mga pangarap niya. Maaasahan mong sulit dito ang mga pinagsikapan mo. Sa aming mga makabagong pasilidad at sistema ng edukasyon. May lalabas natin ang aking talino at mga kakayahan niya. Kahit sa munting halaga, makakasiguro ka na makakasabay siya sa mabilis na pag-ikot ng mundo. Sa New Era, karamay mo kami sa bawat hamon. Kaagapay mo kami sa bawat hakbang. Kasama mo kami sa bawat ngiti at tagumpay.
portion is brought to you by Red Juice. Mas masarap ang pakiramdam kapag malinis ang kalooban.
Welcome back to Open for Business. Here are the trending business news around the world. German food bank feels inflation crunch and influx of refugees. TAFL, a charitable organization providing discounted food to Germany's poor, is crying out for help for basic funding from the German government as it felt the squeeze of inflation and rising number of refugees from Ukraine, according to a report from a German news organization. Apart from inflation, which has reached 7.3%, or prices at 15% more expensive, donation from private companies have also been dwindling, making it more difficult for the over 900 food banks run by TAFL. The food banks in Germany were established originally to help people living below the poverty line, or those who have less than 60% of the median net income. Currently, around 13 million are considered living below the poverty line. China's economy sees 6.3% rise in second quarter, missing expected growth. China's gross domestic product, or GDP, for the second quarter registered a 6.3% increase, missing expectations of a better recovery. The economy only grew a 0.8% versus the first quarter of 2023 and much lower than the 2.2% pace over the same quarter in 2022. However, the country's National Bureau of Statistics chief remains optimistic of a 5% growth in 2023. Retail sales for June rose by 3.1%, a hairline below the expected 3.2% increase. WHO and US FDA disagree on health risks of aspartame. The World Health Organization and US Food and Drug Administration are at odds over the former's classification of aspartame as potential carcinogenic for humans as sweetener for sodas. The FDA said that its own study showed no safety concerns on aspartame were found if consumed within the allowed daily recommended limit. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, part of WHO, earlier found a possible link between aspartame and hepatocellular carcinoma, a type of liver cancer, after reviewing 3 large human studies in the US and Europe. Aspartame is used worldwide as a sweetener to about 6,000 products. And that's our news roundup. I am Randy Bernardino for Open for Business.
Open for Business is at the helm. Return to high growth trajectory. Despite the possible economic impacts of El Nino and the current levels of inflation, the Philippine economy remains on track to return to its high growth trajectory. According to the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, this is supported by a strong labor market performance and a downward trend in inflation that is on its way to reaching the government's target. NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan said President Bongbong Marcos started his term under very challenging and unique circumstances because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Dahil sa mga problemang nangailangan ng agarang solusyon, inilatag-an niya ng Pangulo ang kanyang 8-point socio-economic agenda na nakatutok rin sa mga prioridad para sa medium term gaya ng mga oportunidad sa paglikha ng mga trabaho at pagpapabilis ng pagsugpo sa kahirapan sa loob ng 6 na taon. Ayon kay Balisacan, ang mga prioridad ng administrasyon ay susi sa paunang inisyatiba at output ng economic team kabilang ang medium-term fiscal framework ng bansa na layong tiyakin ang alignment ng legislative agenda sa pagkamit ng fiscal targets. Kasama rin ang 5.26 trillion budget ngayong taon na nakatuon sa socio-economic priorities ng Pangulo at ang Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028 na siyang medium-term development blueprint ng bansa para maging epektibo ang socio-economic transformation para sa isang masagana, inclusive at resilient society. The government aims to achieve a 6 to 7% economic growth expansion this year. The administration is also recognizing the improving unemployment rate, which went down to 4.5% in April compared to 5.7% in the same time last year. Inflation has gone down from 8.7% in January to 6.1% in May. The NEDA secretary said the president created a more open and enabling regulatory and investment policy environment and proved his commitment to sound and cohesive policies. Among these decisions are the accession to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the creation of green lanes for strategic investments, amendments to the implementing rules and regulations of the Renewable Energy Act and the Build, Operate, Transfer Law, and changes to the NEDA Joint Venture Guidelines.
Pinakahihintay na pagbabalik ng pinakamasaya at pinakamahusay na sports competition ng bansa ay narito na. Mahigit 10,000 batang atletang Pilipino mula sa 17 regions ang maglalaban-laban upang ipakita ang galing ng mga batang malakas para sa bansang matatag. Palarong Pambansa 2023 Marikina. Panoorin ang mga palaro August 1 to 8, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 2 p.m. at 12 noon, Sabado at Linggo, dito sa Net25. Brought to you by Media Partners. Net25, DZEC, Radyo Aguila, Eagle FM 95.5, Out-of-Home Advertising Association of the Philippines, Strong Media Advertising Solutions, Globaltronics Incorporated, Mega Mobile, Manila Bulletin, Philippine Star, The Manila Times, and Manila Standard.
On behalf of the Horizon, the Malaysian trade show organizer, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone to the country's first furniture supply sourcing trade show, the Philippine Furniture Furnishings Market, or PFFM for short. This 3-day annual event promises to provide our industry trade buyers and furniture enthusiasts with a glimpse of top-grade export quality furniture and furnishing products from China, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. Discover the latest trends in home, living, dining, bedroom, outdoor and office furniture from around the region, and network with manufacturers and exporters and open new business opportunities.
PFFM's extensive showcase presents a diverse range of products, including living, dining, office and bedroom furniture, catering to the needs of local and foreign trade visitors. This is a wonderful gathering of buyers and sellers of everything that is desirable and practical in home furnishings. The PFFM brings together manufacturers, exporters, retailers, and the general public under one event to share ideas, showcase talent, and to engage in commerce for home improvement. We Filipinos are lovers of beautiful design and are world-class when it comes to producing pleasing furnishings that use local materials. This event provides a venue for that creativity.
Interior design can really affect one's mood, one's outlook. When you wake up, the first thing you see is actually your furniture, so you want to curate that and tailor fit that to all of your needs. The objects we find in our living spaces are definitely profound. Furniture can really excite and bring peace in our daily moods and everything that we exude, and that's why it really holds a very, very important aspect in our daily lives. You know, as your Miss Universe Philippines, I really know the value of integrity, beauty, quality, and that's something our Philippine furniture can definitely execute and bring to all of us. This is something that is an amazing opportunity, and it's something that really makes Philippine furniture ready for export and definitely international quality as well. For everybody that's here, I hope you know that this event is for all of you. It is a 3-day event that we can definitely maximize, and you can also meet a lot of distinguished industry experts. That is very important to really just make those connections and really find what you need in our daily lives. We also have key players here, and we'd also love to collaborate with all of you to find friends and partners and also like-minded individuals.
The first legacy project that I would like to briefly talk about is the Philippine Hotel Industry Strategic Action Plan, which is a joint project of our association and the Department of Tourism. And basically, this is a roadmap, a master plan for the Philippine hotel industry, which will tell you, among others, the room inventory that we will need in the next 5 to 10 years. So from the baseline data that we have, how much more do we have to go to be at par with our neighbors to be globally competitive? So it will talk about the demand forecast next 5 to 10 years. The plan will also talk about the location. How many will we need in Manila? How many will we need in Cebu, in Boracay, Davao, and the other emerging destinations? And again, this provides business opportunities for the exhibitors in PFFM.
My company has been in this market for almost 20 years. So all this while we are looking at a different trend of markets. Every time we improve according to the market in order we can grow together in our design to meet the market's needs. So this is how we conceptualize our company in this market. Philippine market is always a market that I want to explore. So for this fair, I especially make this range just for this fair. It's still newly launched because I know that this market is very good in natural made products. So I design features which is with a natural looking, like a rattan looking, for this fair especially. This is why this is catered for this fair. And also we design this case good also with the rattan look. I think it's very good for this market. This is what we intend to develop. We have a team of R&D. So every time we will go to fair to look for new idea, new design. And at the same time, my production team will also use a machinery, new kind of technology to improve the quality and also the design to make it every time different color, different features, different idea in the furnitures. in order to moving forward together with the trend, market trend. I would say market now is getting tough after the COVID pandemic time. So now customer is looking for sustainability of the products with a good price, economical pricing, but with very good looking. So this is how we are trying to make our product with good material, but trying to reduce the material cost by using a higher technology, reducing the labor cost, and make the price more economical that every customer can adapt and accept, affordable to buy.
We are the professional manufacturer for an office chair, sofa, massage chair, and furniture and other sitting products. So this is our first time to be here for the furniture show. So we want to know the market in Philippines and to understand what the customer need and what we should do R&D to satisfy our customer in Philippines. So USA and the EU market are the two biggest market for us, but we believe the Philippine market is one of the most important for us. Also, our company is more and more focused on ergonomic products like the ergonomic office chair, ergonomic adjustable desks. So in this fair, we take many featured products here. And this afternoon, many customers and visitors come to our booth, and they all like our products. They say it's very comfortable. In order to compete with other factories, so we just focus on the high-end office chair. So with more functions and lower price, so the value is higher than other factories. In my opinion, the regular office chair is quite out of date. So what we should do is focus on the market trends. I mean the trends in the market, and do your own R&D by yourself. So now we are focused on the high-end ergonomic mesh chairs. This is our trend. We do some research from the market, and we do R&D by ourselves like this. So the mesh chair, high-end ergonomic office chair is our direction or the market trends, in our opinion.
But there's a lot of talk about culture diplomacy, food diplomacy, but this is something different. We're talking about furniture and furnishing diplomacy. So, can you tell us more why a lot of Malaysian companies are also here in the Philippines? And this is worth noting because this is the very first Philippine Furniture Furnishing Market Expo.
Thank you, Cignal. Yeah, you rightly said this is the very first Philippine Furnishing Market Expo. I think it speaks well for the industry, the furnishing industry in Philippines, because Philippines, Malaysia views as a growing market. Looking at Philippines' growth trajectory in the next 2 to 3 years is indeed impressive, and we know that as the economy develops, especially in the Philippines, you will have more opportunities in various sectors, and furnishing because of the housing and domestic market or construction market will grow. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Philippines is one of the key export countries for Malaysian furnitures. And today you see testimony of this importance of Philippines to Malaysia in the industry. Many of these Malaysian furnitures here, companies here have had businesses in the Philippines already, and they hope to grow. But at the same time we're also educating a more collaborative development between Malaysian furnishing companies and also Philippine furnishing companies. Because like you said, how does cultural diplomacy have a say in furnitures? But I see Philippines as an advantage in design, basically looking at how intricate Philippine design is based on expertise. I think this can be incorporated in the furnishing industry. And having Malaysian expertise and of course Philippine designs in this can create a new market for both Malaysia and Philippines, and that we see as a tremendous boost to our trade relations between both countries.
Speaking of this thing that you mentioned about trade and commerce and trade relationship, you mentioned about the growing exports, not only of the Philippines but also of Malaysia. As of now, what are the products ambassador of Malaysia that are being exported here, and so far, in terms of your outlook of the imports that we also get from Malaysia, can you talk more about these?
Some of the major exports from Malaysia to the Philippines is palm oil or olein, also on machinery. Of course, we hope to develop more in terms of agricultural products, on products related to digitalization, mechanization. So I think for us, the outlook is for us to develop and strengthen core competencies of both countries in this, and hopefully with that we can improve exports and increase exports. Last year, Malaysia the trade between Malaysia and Philippines registered USD 6 billion ringgit. So USD 6 billion. I think there's a room for growth because we feel that this is far below potential. There's room for further growth, and when you hope, one of the sectors that could benefit is of course the furniture industry. Of course, we in Malaysia, we aspire to sustainable production, and most of the furniture developed in Malaysia, or I want to say all the furniture produced in Malaysia aspire to the ESG certification. No? So we hope to do that. And of course, today you also see a lot of other countries participating. You have, from China, from Romania, from Thailand, Poland, I believe. So this shows that, Philippines is an attractive market, not only for Malaysia, but for the other ASEAN countries and Asian countries. So I think Philippines should take advantage of this and try to create, this kind of bridge between these companies, and of course build a stronger manufacturing hub in Philippines for Philippines growth. And Malaysia is ready to help in that.
You highlighted the design and creativity of the Philippines as a country. In terms of this collaboration between the Philippines and Malaysia, what is it that Malaysia has to offer in terms of the collaboration with design? Although you mentioned about craftsmanship, and I'm sure that in terms of collaboration, both Malaysia and the Philippine designers can create something really unique. But can you talk more if design or Philippine design is really excellent in terms of the collaboration between the two countries? What would be the potential output of that collaboration?
For me, I believe what Malaysia can offer is the expertise or technology that we have. Because, like I said, most of our Malaysian companies here, they have advanced technology when it comes to production, especially in furnishing. And this is something we can, of course, share with the Philippines manufacturers and work with them to develop using Philippine design. For me, looking at the design, I've been here for 4 months. I've seen the designs, very intricate designs that Philippines can be proud of. And this, I believe, has a market overseas. Countries now are aspiring for more developed cultural experience, and I think in Malaysia also, when you look at the designs that we produce, a lot of the designs, current modern designs, incorporate traditional creativity and of course modern creativity, and I think Philippines has that potential, and not only for export market but also for domestic market, because you see a lot of like I said, the construction industry, the home industry is booming in Philippines. You can see so many new development projects, and all this will require furnishings, be it industrial, be it home, so there is a potential, of course, using Philippine design, which for me I think is one of the most unique design I've seen. Incorporating with Malaysian technology, then you have the best of both worlds.
Yes, I agree, sir. And now, sir, for my last two questions, of course, here in the Philippines, we noticed the impact also of COVID-19. With the many industries, we still are recovering, and we want to still reach that pre-pandemic levels. But right now, we're seeing the bouncing back of all the industries, of the economy. But in Malaysia, sir, what's your experience and what's your insight on the contribution not only of the furniture and furnishing industry but in other industries to the continued bouncing back of your economy?
Post-pandemic economic situation in Malaysia is vastly improving. We are looking for, at the moment, Malaysia is embarking on a more, I would say, advanced projection of manufacturing of moving to fourth industrial revolution. We are looking at mechanization, robotics, smart farming. We're looking at halal industry, building the ecosystem, and of course looking for more high value added technology in most of our manufacturing concern. Of course, it's all geared towards moving from the post-pandemic era. For me, of course, Malaysia, we have various sectors that contribute to it. Of course, one is, of course, the commodities market. We have the services market, of course, which is also growing well. We have the mechanization market, which is a high machinery, circular economy, which we're also looking at. And all this constitutes the key aspects of what we hope to achieve in Malaysia in terms of growing the economy. That being said, of course, there remain challenges, of course, from the international global scenario. We hope some of the current geopolitical issues, especially like in Ukraine and Russia, will be solved soon. And of course, other hotspots, we hope that there will be an amicable solution in finding peace so that the growth can continue.
And for my final question, Ambassador, I cannot help but ask you this because the Department of Tourism recently launched our new slogan. It's called Love Philippines. So what's your reaction to that? And in your country, I know that I can see it on the internet of your country slogan as well. So can you, I don't want you to compare and contrast, but first, what can you say about the new slogan, Love Philippines? And on your part, how do you promote also your country, not only here in the Philippines, but around the world?
First and foremost, the slogan Love Philippines, for me, I think it's very apt because anyone who comes to Philippines will definitely leave Philippines loving Philippines, So I think this new slogan that we're trying to create, because I think love transcends many aspects, not only culture, not only the products itself, but also the people. So I think for me, when a person loves a country, he will leave the country feeling like he or she wants to come back. And you love somebody, you want to continue to have a connection to the person or to the country or to the individual. So I think that slogan itself, for me, resonates very strongly, And I think, this is my own personal view. So I think it resonates well. I applaud the slogan, and I hope it will continue. Of course, Malaysia, we have also our own slogans, Malaysia through Asia, and we have been promoting this worldwide, and that works for us because in Malaysia, we're a multiracial, multilingual country. So that slogan reflects the composition of Malaysia and, of course, what we can offer to the world.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Malik from the Embassy of Malaysia in the Philippines. Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Dito sa ASPN, siguradong sagot namin ang mga impormasyong kailangan ninyong malaman sa araw-araw.
Official nang bukas sa mga motorista ang NLEX Connector.
Meron ba talagang alitan ang pamilyang Degamo laban po sa Teves?
Our families have gone a long way, no? Ang una talagang kasama or alay ni Governor Degamo is ako at yung lolo ko.
Nagtala ng maximum heat index.
Nagsara po kahapon, April 3. Nako, bagyang humina po ang piso. Kami na din ni Ali ang bahala sa pagsiyasat sa mga isyong kinakaharap ng bansa.
Kung makita nila na meron namang sufficient basis, ay pwede silang magpa-issue sa International Criminal Court ng warrant of arrest.
He was looking to grade, binaon talaga siya, inilibing. Your question.
So 12 years, I have done my part, Benson, and I know you are proud of me. In spite of the odds.
Samahan nyo kami, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Dito lang yan sa Net 25!
Open for Business is back, and our biz word for the week is life coach. It is a person who counsels and encourages clients on matters having to do with careers or personal challenges. In about everything, communication is key. Learning what to say is one thing, but knowing how to speak effectively can do wonders for you as a person and to your bottom line as an entrepreneur. While speaking eloquently is a great thing to learn, knowing what to say that positively impacts your audience is as important. And with that, our quote of the week is, our style must be pure and correct. We must speak with clearness and perspicuity and be always attentive to appear in character. That's from the orator by Cicero, the master of Latin prose and greatest Roman orator. Thank you very much, Mitch. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ng isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us on Facebook, on YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.